Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the BG Show. I am here to talk about my favorite thing in the world, Star Wars, but more specifically, the premiere episode of Andor, Episode 1. It has been a long time coming for the show. It is the Rogue One prequel show. If this is your first time on my channel, please hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Let me get right into it. I'm going to start with non-spoiler thoughts first. So don't worry, if you haven't seen the episode yet, you're still safe to watch. So right off the bat, I'm going to say I really love this episode, but in unique ways, different to how I like most of the things I've reviewed so far. This is exactly what Star Wars has needed at the exact right time. You really can tell. I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like you're watching, not that I don't like Disney Plus stuff, but it feels like you're watching a show made by another company. It almost feels like another, which is what I was hoping for, because Tony Gilroy made this show. It felt like it was more serious. It felt like the scenes were acted better, like they had stakes, like you really were watching real acted scenes. There was no clunkiness. Like when you watch the Boba Fett show, it was so campy, but in a bad way. It was so clunky. This show was clean. It was smooth. It was. I don't want to use the word gritty. That's used too much. It almost felt like the opening scene was at a Blade Runner, so it really felt different. It didn't, we weren't back on Tatooine, so maybe that was it. But it just felt different. So those are my non-spoiler thoughts. Obviously, as you can tell, I highly suggest to watch the show. If you don't know anything about Star Wars and you're like, should I watch the show if I don't know anything about Star Wars? Honestly, I'm going to say no. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, just watch, it doesn't matter, but I think it does matter. If you haven't watched anything Star Wars, you don't know where to start, I'm going to comment with my email address, as well as my links to my TikTok page. You can DM me on TikTok, you can DM me on one of my socials, or even send me an email, and I will guide you through the Star Wars universe. I'd love to do it. But for now, start with the 1977 A New Hope. It's on Disney Plus. Fire that up, watch that movie, and start from there. The first original movie we watch on this channel in release order, always, 100% of the time. So without further ado, let me get into my spoiler review. This is your official spoiler warning. I will be getting into the episode, so to go and watch episode 1. I will not be talking about 2 or 3. I haven't even seen 2 or 3 yet. I don't want to watch 1, 2, and 3, and then do the review of 1. So I've only seen 1. I'm only going to talk about 1. So let me get right into it. So right off the bat, we start with Cassian Andor. He is obviously, if you're watching this, he's from Rogue One. He was. So yeah, it's interesting, kind of starting with a character who we know how he's going to end up. We haven't had this in a while. I mean, I guess. Well, I shouldn't say that. We just got this with Obi-Wan. So, a little bit different though, because Obi-Wan still had a long life, after his show through the time that he died. But, Andor, we know he's about to die probably 4 or 5 years after this was, after these events took place. So the episode takes place and we see 5 BBY. So what does BBY mean? BBY is before the Battle of Yavin. The Battle of Yavin is essentially the Death Star being destroyed. That is the Battle of Yavin. So we are 5 years before the Death Star being destroyed, which means we're about, 4 years and, 4.5 years before Rogue One, because they had to get the plans first. So, I was glad to see that. I think that's kind of a deep cut Star Wars thing. It's not something that even a casual fan would know, but I think it's smart. It's something that's, you can always Google it. So, that's what that was. As we get into the show, new planet, new kind of people. We don't see a stormtrooper this whole episode, I don't think, which is different. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. Stop using the same beat. We don't see a lightsaber. We don't see a stormtrooper. We don't see the same planets. It feels very different. We're seeing that there's other people in the universe. So we see him interact with a lot of different people. He's kind of walking around on his planet. He's acquired a very valuable, Imperial chip or something that he wants to sell. He's trying to essentially get off the planet. That's his goal. He's trying to scheme. But above the spoilers, what I really just love is the vibe of the show. Like I said in the non-spoiler section, it feels so. Basically, okay, let me back up. He goes to a bar, or actually a brothel, I should say, and already this is like a hot. This is already more adult than Star Wars is used to. Star Wars very rarely talks about sexual stuff. And if it does, it's very neutered. I don't even think, Nah, there's definitely not a sex scene in Star Wars. So, you know, the fact that it's even taking place in a brothel, you're like, okay, this is different. And then, you know, normally in other projects, that would just be a bar. So he's kind of talking around. He's trying to find somebody. He's trying to find a girl. And then we eventually find he's looking for a sister. So he's looking for a sister. And then as the episode goes on, it cuts back to a scene, you know, from his childhood with his sister. And we assume that this is the last time he's seen her. So that's, you know, they're kind of establishing motivations, what he's doing. Because we know from Rogue One, he's going to be involved in the rebellion. So there has to be something else, which is the smart part, other than just, you know, other than the rebellion stuff. Because it's not believable that he, you know, it is believable, but him risking his life just because the Empire is bad, that would seem kind of stupid. He needs more motivations to get to that point. So she doesn't really have that much information for him, and he leaves. There are two security officers who kind of tail him out, and they basically give him trouble. They're trying to shake him down for money. He ends up accidentally killing one in a skirmish, trying to get his gun. And as the other one is trying to, you know, begging for his life, unexpectedly Andor shoots him in the head. And I believe that is the first time someone gets shot in the head in Star Wars. It's rare that an innocent person gets killed. It's very weird that our main character killed someone. We saw this from him in Rogue One. You remember the scene where he gets information from the guy, then he kills him. So, you know, he's on our side, but I don't know if, you know, good guy compared to the other, you know, he's not a Jedi. He doesn't have a code. Yeah, they're trying to make him ambiguous. Shoots the guy right in the other thing too was in the head. It wasn't, you know, it was very, you know, most of the times you knock him out and he just goes out cold. So that really sets the tone very different. I think casual fans are going to like that a lot. This is a show that casual fans will like. It doesn't hit you over the head with Star Wars lore. It's just kind of a good show that takes place in the Star Wars universe. So the rest of the episode, you know, this kind of command center guy, he's actually from Game of Thrones. He says he has a meeting, you know, with the Empire, so he kind of leaves. This other guy comes in, and they locate his ship on the radar, and they're trying to, you know, basically figure out where he's going. And as the episode goes on, Andor is just trying to figure out how to get off the planet, how to get off this planet. He's looking for credits, and there isn't really, you know, a cliffhanger or I think this is why it makes sense. I haven't seen 2 or 3 yet, but this makes sense why they released 3 episodes, because this episode, it's not going to really, as you could tell from this review with the spoilers, there's really not a lot to spoil other than it's 5 BBY, and that, yeah, he shoots someone in the head. We don't see Stellan Skarsgård yet, who is on the poster behind me somewhere. Where is he? Stellan Skarsgård, where are you? There he is. We haven't seen him yet. I love him from Entourage. That was his friend who he kind of talks about the part with. We've seen her. This is this head security guy who's trying to find him and locate him. He's kind of running that whole planet where he killed the guy. I think that's Mon Mothma. I should have looked that up. Is that supposed to be a young Mon Mothma or a new character? I'm not sure, but I think that's supposed to be her. But either way, I really, really dug this first episode, guys. It's just totally different. So watch the first episode. You'll know what I mean. It's 40 minutes. It's high-quality stuff. And, yeah, I'm excited for episodes 2 and 3. I didn't want to just rush through them. I'm trying to, you know, I love enjoying this stuff. And that's my review for episode 1. Not a ton of spoilers. You know, kind of a quick episode. I just wanted to get this up. I wanted to tell people just to watch this episode, enjoy it. I can't see anyone disliking this. Like I said, I hope Star Wars continues down this path. Make shows that feel different. And honestly, not a great look for Favreau and Filoni, I gotta say. Or Deborah Chow coming off Obi-Wan, coming off this show. Those very different style of filmmaking. So I think the pressure is on for Mando Season 3. I'll see how this show ends. But thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm going to post my email address. Email me for looking to get into Star Wars. I will help you, guide you through. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.